Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Kentucky business begins to clean up after being damaged by a fire, and Governor Andy Beshear might take some drastic measures if a certain bill doesn't make it to his desk.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's 6 o'clock here on this Monday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks for waking up with us. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast. And Brandon, I was just sitting here thinking, it's amazing how smooth this newscast has been since our producer has returned.
Yeah, I know. Once you have somebody who knows what they're doing back, you know, it's a little bit easier. You had me and you trying to do it on Friday.
Hey,
we survived. We got through it.
We did.
But
it was fun.
That just tells you how much that we appreciate Kirsten for being here this morning with us. All right, let's get into it this morning as we see again cameras across the region. I-75 at Corbin, a little bit of moonshine there off in the distance as they still see some clearing skies down that way. Temperatures are a mess. 34 in Jonesville, 59 in Hazard, 61 now in Monticello, 59 in Moorhead, 55 in Prestonsburg, 49 in London, and right in the middle of Clintwood at 37 and Jonesville at 34, Wives is at 52. Now explain that to me about what the range is with that this morning. 70 is our forecast high this afternoon, average high 68, record high 85, set back on this day in 2001. Now coming up, I will tell you about some rain chances that can impact us a little bit later today. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, Kentucky State Police troopers responded to a shooting Saturday night in the Everts community of Harlan County. Well, police tell us one person was flown to Johnson City Medical Center for their injuries. Troopers have not made any arrests at this time. Of course, we'll keep you updated when we learn more. Well, a person was sent to a hospital after an officer-involved shooting in Grundy, Virginia. Grundy Police Department officers said the shooting happened Saturday night just before 8 o'clock at the Appalachian Inn on Hoot Owl Road. Well, police say the officer was assisting the individual with relocating. We are told a fight between the officer and suspect happened, which led to the shooting. The suspect was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the officer was placed on administrative leave pending an investigation by the Virginia State Police Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Sunday morning, the London Laurel Rescue Squad responded to a car crash into a building near 5th Street and Main Street. On a Facebook post, rescue squad members said the crash happened around 7:48 yesterday morning. Rescue teams and firefighters boarded up a section of the building for the property owner. A Allen County business is cleaning up after a large fire heavily damaged the building Saturday morning. Well, that fire left at least $1 million in damage to the JW. It's a stave mill in Moorhead. Fire crews say it took 10 hours to put out the flames, but some parts of the mill are still burning. A manager at the mill says it will likely take months to get up and running again, and well, they worried about their workers.
There's about 20 families that tables might be light for the next 6 months because of this.
Well, no workers in the building, though there were no workers in the building at the time of the fire. Fire officials say fortunately no one was hurt. A woman nearly witnessed her vacation home in Sevier County burn down from Florida. Well, Tammy Hager was kept awake by her phone, alerting her that there was movement outside her home. Her home security system captured the moment when the Hatcher Mountain fire made it to her front door. Well, she said she watched in real time as her neighbor's cabin burned to the ground.
It was a very, very ferocious fire. The winds were blowing, the trees were bending, and you could see the fire coming towards the house. And I thought for sure that any minute with the embers blowing up on the deck, it was going to go up in flames.
Well, thankfully for Hager, the flames only left behind burn marks to the trees and grass just feet from her cabin. Well, she says she is thankful her home was spared, but she knows some of her neighbors were not so lucky. Well, volunteers were back in full force during the weekend to celebrate Reforest the Bluegrass in Lexington. Well, people gathered at the Blue Woods Park to celebrate, or excuse me, to plant trees. A little bit of snow couldn't stop more than 300 people signed up for the Reforest the Bluegrass event from coming out. In just a couple hours, an entire section of the park went from open fill to being filled with new trees as people were eager to get their hands in the dirt.
So many benefits for our community, especially in an urban area where we have a lot of runoff because we've got streets and roads and houses. Trees absorb a lot of that excess storm water, which helps protect our local creeks.
The program had 17 different species of trees, and officials say the plan is to plant more than 6,000 trees in the park. Well, we all have certain passions or interests that set us apart from one another. And for one Eastern Kentucky high schooler, his interests grew in ways he never saw coming. WYMT's Alyssa Williams met up with Letcher County Central High School student to learn more.
What began with a few words written on a page,
a burst of air ripped through the narrow corridors of the section,
turned into a passion project for one Harlan County teen.
And next thing I know, I'm writing word after word, and it's just flowing to me, just ideas.
Letcher County Central High School student Micah Turner has a strong connection to coal mining, adding that his grandfathers and father were miners.
That's my dad. He worked in the coal mines until he got on the mine rescue team, and he responded to the Upper Big Branch mine disaster a few years back. And so I guess just the mine disaster aspect of that really influenced me.
Turner, who is also a photographer, took an interest in the Scotia mine disaster of 1976.
You look at all these other mine disasters like Upper Big Branch, Kentucky Derby, there's one over in Leslie County. They all have these big fancy monuments and statues and dedication, just like a memorial park basically. And you look at Scotia and it's nothing but a sign on the side of the road. I aim to change that.
This motivated Turner to write a book titled Down the Mine, a historical fiction that follows several characters who work within the Scotia mines and experience the disaster that unfolded in March of 1976.
It's a very touchy subject because of the pain that's drawn to that. And the biggest thing that I can stress with the book is bringing dedication and respect to those miners, because that's 26 lives who was just trying to make a living for their families.
Using his talent to give a voice to the voiceless.
I would love to keep that memory alive for them so that people know how dangerous coal mining is and how much those men sacrificed.
And hoping to create a dialogue about this disaster for many generations to come.
And so the whole goal with everything that I write and every photo that I take is to leave something for someone else that might inspire them to do the same.
Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, Turner's book, Down the Mine, is set to be released this Friday, April 15th, but you can pre-order the book before then from Amazon. The Herald Leader reports if a bill legalizing marijuana does not reach his desk, Governor Andy Beshear says he is ready to consider taking actions himself to get Kentuckians access to medicinal cannabis. The Herald Leader reported on the governor's comments Thursday, reflecting his growing frustration with the latest medical marijuana bill. He told reporters that if the bill died, that he could potentially issue an executive order. Also, a new bill could lower the age that bar and restaurant employees can serve alcohol here in the Commonwealth. Many are hoping this makes it easier on the service industry, which has struggled through the pandemic. House Bill 252 would lower the age for workers serving alcohol to 18. Restaurant owners say the potential expansion of the workforce would give them more staffing options and more seats filled in turn.
Coming up on 6:08, and no major issues going on here locally this morning. Let's go to the satellite radar map, and it's got a little bit of a glitch in it this morning. Kind of flashes there at times, but again, it just goes to show you that not much is going on here. But to our west, we're looking at some rain trying to move into the western parts of the state. It is going to hit some drier air, so I do believe some of it will make it through here in the eastern counties, but I don't think it'll be as bad as it is out to the west right now. So we'll keep an eye on that, keep you posted. Temperatures 34 in Jonesville, 61 in Monticello. So we're obviously splitting the difference there, about 50 by 7 o'clock this morning. 70 this afternoon, straight of scattered chances for rain, about 30% chance on that. And as we head to the next several days, an active start to the week. Strong storms look likely, at least now, for Wednesday, some possibly tomorrow, and then a dry start to Easter weekend. Hard to believe that's just a few days away. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. Coming up here on Mountain News this morning, Ukrainian troops prepare for what could be a major showdown with the Russian army. That's on the way.